Ava Kris Tyson of the Mr. Beast crew had a ton of evidence surface about horrible behavior with how they communicated with minors, as well as a past of really disgusting shit.
Has finally responded to all the allegations.
Mr. Beast transitioned to Dr. Chris Respect.
I really didn't want to make this video, but here we go. Okay, before I start, can I just ask, why is everyone pedos now? Like, first Dr. Disrespect, then Cody Ko, now Ava Kris Tyson. Like, y'all, I'm tired. I'm tired. Let's get into this. For those of you who don't know who Ava Kris Tyson is, she is one of the OG people Mr. Beast had in his videos. Like, she was there from the beginning of Mr. Beast's channels. And when she came out as non-binary and then trans in 2023, it not only got her a lot of hate, but Mr. Beast as well.
Chris Tyson reveals they have started life-saving hormone replacement therapy.
Why didn't it look like he was unhappy with his gender when he felt comfortable looking like a masculine man in front of millions of people for many years?
It's him and his team of friends. Well, now Mr. Beast has a problem. Mr. Beast's problem is that one of his co-stars, his longtime friend Chris Tyson, has decided that he is now a woman.
Yeah, I remember people crying, screaming, throwing up just because a trans woman came out. And personally, I remember thinking how ridiculous everyone was acting towards her. I literally only found out about her because I've never watched Mr. Beast really from the Anthony Padilla interview that she did right after she came out. And now in 2024, there are allegations about her inappropriately messaging a minor when she was 20 and the kid was 13 years old. You know, this tweet really sums up exactly what I'm feeling right now. I'm not gonna lie, I'm seeing so many conflicting things about this situation. Even the person who made the claims, who is now 20, said that he wasn't groomed, and this has a lot of people in an uproar. So I'm gonna be finding as many receipts as possible, break it all down for you so that we can get a clear idea of what the situation is. And if I see any transphobic comments, I will be deleting them, just so you know. So this all started about a month ago when this video titled "Chris Tyson Talked Inappropriately to a 13-Year-Old" came out. This 43-minute long video goes in depth on exactly what was said between them, and here are just some things that were said between them.
He says, "I really enjoy playing Fortnite. Would you guys want to watch me stream?" And Lava GS says, "Please stream again." And he says, "Thanks, Dad. You want to moderate it?" And he says, "I love to." I get concerned because this guy that you talk to online, you've been socializing with, you've been playing video games with, he's asking you, "Chris, does she know about your hentai addiction?" And that's the thing, is this guy at this point, November 12th, 2003, he would have been 14 years old. Lava says, "I'm your first Patreon big boy." Now keep in mind, Chris Tyson, he was born July 1996, so he would have been 22 years old at the time, or around that age. And you have this guy who was born in November 12, 2003, he would have been 14. And of course, here he is, "I'm your first Patreon big boy," which he's calling him big boy. And he shows that he donated some money, he donated like $1 or something, so it's not enough to meet the goal. And he says, "But not $5, pathetic, just kidding, kissy face." Yeah, this is the part that I have a problem with.
We'll have the full video linked down below because honestly it still doesn't have as many views as it really should. And Lava saw these allegations and has now openly stated that he actually wasn't groomed and is very adamantly defending Ava over on Twitter. The tweet he wrote in response when this was first coming out reads, "Chris did nothing wrong. What's actually disgusting is you guys twisting things and making me a victim." This really brings up an incredibly nuanced conversation about grooming and someone seeing themselves as a victim. Because on all technical accounts, and from my point of view and many people's point of view, Lava was groomed by Ava. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They met when Ava was 20 years old. Lava was only 13 at the time. They were in a public Discord together, so everyone could see the inappropriate things that were being said between them. And an adult who says those kinds of things under the age of 18 is a predator. However, Lava doesn't see himself that way. He really doesn't see himself as a victim and tweeted even more things defending Ava, which actually ended up just making her look worse. So he retweeted this from Keemstar, and it says, Mr. Beast connected me directly to Lava, the alleged Kris Tyson groomed victim. Lava, I was not groomed by Kris Tyson. Lava, I did not meet Kris Tyson by myself. I met Kris and the Mr. Beast crew with my family present. Lava, I ran a Discord with Kris Tyson when I was 13 and edgy, inappropriate jokes were said about it. So he's literally admitting that these inappropriate jokes were going around when he was 13 and 14 years old. Can you guys help me counter all these lies? Kris's messages to me were sent in public Discord servers / groups, but everyone is framing it as if it was one-on-one. Kris literally did nothing wrong. Just because it wasn't one-on-one interactions doesn't mean that inappropriate things weren't being said to him. Grooming doesn't have to be one-on-one. Plenty of people get groomed in group settings. And this has actually made me think a lot about how people who are victims of this kind of behavior have to process it. I'm actually going to be using Cody Ko and Tana as another example of this. On Tana's podcast, Cancelled, she herself said that she doesn't feel like a victim of Cody's, even though what Cody did was statutory. And honestly, there seems to be this horrible trend of young people who have experienced these terrible things at the hands of adults, especially famous ones, who don't really see how fucked up what it is they went through. And as someone who has never gone through this kind of thing, thank the Lord, I can't in good conscience sit here and say someone should or shouldn't feel like a victim. However, I can sit here and say, based on the tweets and the evidence and other people corroborating what's going on, Ava was predatory to a 13-year-old. And unfortunately, Ava being trans is somehow making this horrible situation even worse somehow. When you see memes on Twitter saying that this situation sets trans people back decades, we're not kidding. There's so much fear. Yes, genuine fear around all trans women being pedophiles and groomers, which I'm not gonna lie, I could literally break down that whole topic in a whole separate video, and honestly I might. But it's specifically to trans women because as a trans masc person myself, I don't really see this in regards to trans masc people or trans men. And this gives conservatives so much fire to their transphobic rhetoric because they were already hating on her for coming out as trans. And now they can look and point and be like, see, we told you she was a bad one. All trans women are horrible. For some reason, when it comes to trans people, they can't look at one person doing a bad thing. They have to lump us all together. I think this also brings up a conversation about who should be platformed. Apparently Mr. Beast knew all of this about Ava. Multiple ex-employees have confirmed it. Plus, like I said before, they were speaking this way to each other in a public Discord. People knew what was going on. Jimmy knew what was going on. And I'm sorry. Actually, no, I'm not sorry. Why would you be friends with someone if you knew this about them, if you knew they were conducting this kind of behavior? And I know that a lot more has come out about this, and Ava being into lolly stuff and supporting an artist who drew horrific things, it's absolutely disgusting. And because of this, a lot of people have a lot of transphobic things to say about it. Who cares? He's a man and a predator. Because Kris is a man living in a fetish. Isn't he a man that cosplays as a woman though? I don't get it. I'm more worried of that guy being a pedophile. And honestly, there are ways to talk about someone being a groomer and a predator and a pedophile without going after their gender. I don't think people go after the gender of cis predators. And actually, a couple days ago, Ava herself put out this statement. I would like to apologize for any of my past behaviors or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I continue to work on myself. I do not want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I have stepped away. Yeah, this whole situation is just fucked. Honestly, I don't think there's anything else she could have really said other than this. I do think it is best for her to just not be on social media, and I'm sure Mr. Beast's PR team is having a field day with this and is going to try to cover this up as much as possible, even though, again, multiple ex-employees have said that this is just the tip of the iceberg for all of the stuff that has gone down for Mr. Beast and his company. So honestly, if we see the downfall of Mr. Beast this year, I wouldn't necessarily be surprised. I personally don't really have a lot to say about this situation. I really don't think it's that hard as an adult on the internet to do your due diligence in finding out if you're talking to a minor or not. Literally, all you have to do is go to someone's profile, look to see if they have an age. If it's over 18, great, whatever. If it's under, don't interact. If they have no age, don't interact. It's not that hard. And as for my thought as a fellow trans person, I hate it. Literally, like I said in the beginning, why is everyone out here just being pedos and making it so much easier for transphobic people to continue to be transphobic? Now listen, were those people going to be transphobic even if this didn't happen in such a public way? Yes. If you're transphobic, you're going to be transphobic no matter what. Does this add more fuel to their fire? Unfortunately, yes, it does. And it sucks. The stigma around trans women specifically being pedophiles and groomers has been around for as long as I can remember, and decades before that. And now having a very, very famous example of that exact situation, it isn't helping the community who's literally just trying to get basic rights still. Literally, the majority of us just want to go about living our lives. We don't hurt anyone. So these kind of situations, seeing it as a trans person, you know that people are going to use this situation against the whole community. Thank you so much for watching this video. Sorry this was another downer of a video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about this situation, what you think about Ava. I wish Lava well, and to anyone else who has had this kind of thing happen to them when they were younger, just know that it wasn't your fault. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.